How is it that those with so much less seem to be, in my experience, more happy than those living in Western countries? So what is it about the Philippines that seems to create people that tend to be so happy?
I traveled to Southeast Asia and it humbled me in so many ways, and I learned to embrace simplicity. Being content, having peace is priceless. What's up, Philippines? Welcome back! It is another video with your host Nelly. So happy to see you. As always, today we are reacting to the one reason why Filipinos are happier than Americans. And this video comes from an American who spends a lot of time in the Philippines, and I already reacted to one of the videos that he puts out. I think his name is the Californian Expat. And yeah, I'm super curious to hear what he has to say. I really enjoyed his last video. So let's just subscribe quickly. If you're not subscribed yet, it will help my channel tremendously so I can put out content. I am publishing 3 videos per week, and I'm doing my best to entertain you, to learn something new for myself and maybe you as well. So yeah, broaden your horizon and connect in the comment section as well. But yeah, let's watch this video together.
How's it going, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about the #1 reason why I believe Filipinos tend to be happier than those in the West. Let's go.
There we go.
So one of the things that it's just impossible to not notice when you first come here to the Philippines is how happy people seem to be. And I think I experienced that, especially here in Cebu City. I just think Cebuanos are super happy people. You're going to see people that are singing, that are dancing, that have big smiles, that are hospitable, and they're just generally very warm and welcoming people. Just feels pretty chill over here, people enjoying life. And then you look all around you and it's like, you know, this is not like always a very pretty place. You know, you see that, you know, there's beautiful spots to go, white sand beaches and beautiful, you know, clear blue water, you know, in the Dagat, the ocean, but people are not always living in the nicest homes. People are struggling financially and with different things like that. And so you just have this like juxtaposition of people that are super happy and enjoying life and people that are struggling with poverty and other things like that over here at times. And it makes you wonder, what is it that makes people so happy over here? On the other hand, if you just kind of paint another picture of most Western countries, I'll use my country of the US as an example. When I talk to people, I come across a lot of complaining, a lot of people struggling with depression, a lot of people taking a lot of medication to help out with that, a lot of people in therapy, a lot of people unhappy, a lot of people that are just really, truly struggling with life. And so you have to wonder.
Okay, stop here. I just recently came to the US and had a reverse culture shock. I used to live in Miami for 3 years, and then I moved to the Philippines for 4.5 years, and then I lived 2 years in Bali. And coming back to the Western world was just very, very difficult for me. I really struggled because I couldn't connect with the people. Everybody seems to be caught up in their own little world, and there's just not much connection happening here, I feel like. And you know, people do smile, but I don't feel the genuine happiness that I felt in the Philippines. And then especially when it comes to conversations, the conversations here are just like so different. And I'm like, okay, like I don't have much to talk about with you, but okay, whatever. Yeah, it's very, very different. I feel like once you lived in an Asian country, it really defines you.
As those people in the US go home to their beautiful homes, where things are working and there's a lot of space and they got refrigerators full of food and they're driving their, you know, cars and they have disposable income and all those type of things. How is it that those with so much less seem to be, in my experience, more happy than those living in Western countries? Because listen, I don't think that the US has a monopoly on people that are unhappy and struggling with things. So what is it about the Philippines that seems to create people that tend to be so happy? Here's something else for me in the Philippines. When you see people that are really going through tough times over here, maybe a natural disaster, for example. You know, I lived over here during Typhoon Odette, and people didn't have electricity, you know, running water, maybe their roof went flying off, maybe their whole house wasn't there. And I saw people, even through those most difficult times, that were still just enjoying life. I mean, yes, things sucked, But I got the feeling that people's biggest struggle was just trying to figure out how to charge their cell phone. As long as they had their cell phone working, bit of internet, they were good to go. Conversely, I think in a lot of Western countries,
I think it was very important, and that's something that is very unfortunate in the Philippines, is that when these natural disasters happen, the help from the government is not there. There's not that support system that you have in the West, and then people rely on other people. That's why they need internet. They're like, hey, we need your help, can you come? So it's just like a form of communication, also letting the loved ones know that they are okay, and it's just something that I observed.
In a lot of Western countries, if things are just minor inconveniences, you could just see people go off in a rage. And it's like there's so much bubbling underneath the surface, I think, of people in the West these days that make the small things feel like just enormous mountains. So again, what is it about the Philippines where people are also able to just take, the big difficulties in life with a lot of grace? Why are they not blowing up? Why are they not throwing temper tantrums over here like is so common to see in a lot of Western countries? So as I thought about, happiness really in general, it's been one of those things from earlier on in my life that I knew I wanted to live a happy life. And
like
for
everybody.
me, I asked myself for some years, really, like just kind of pondering in the back of my head, what does it even mean for me to be happy?
Very good question.
Is that something
what does
that
it mean
is
for
just
you?
like always feeling great? There's no problems. Is it having stuff I want? Is it, just having the right people in my life? Is it having the right job? For me, happiness often looked like external things, or maybe if I achieve this amount of income, then I would be happy.
Yeah, that's something that was past me. When I was young, I would say in my 20s, when I started my business, I was like, I want to make my first million by the year XYZ. And, I was just like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to have this, blah, blah, blah. And then I traveled to Southeast Asia, and it humbled me in so many ways. And I learned to embrace simplicity and appreciate the little things. And then I figured out what happiness is. And happiness for me is connection, for example. Just being connected with people, talking, even like just us here. I read the comments as well. I respond as much as I can. That is my form of communicating with you, understanding. Happiness for me is like being able to watch a beautiful sunset. I figured out you don't need much. And once you get rid of all of your belongings, you feel lighter and you feel free. It's like the same as in the movie The Fight Club. Everything that you own owns you. And that is so true.
It's really, for the earlier years of my life, how I looked at happiness. What do I got to achieve? What will my life look like externally in order to be happy? And after some time, I really got that. For me, the way I look at happiness, the way that I think that I could achieve happiness was to be content. So I know I'm not supposed to define one word with another word, but tough. That's not the best way that I was able to figure this out in my life.
Yeah, that is very true. Being content, having peace is priceless. And for me personally, I learned to specifically have this in the last 2 years in my self-discovery journey of like learning a lot about myself as a single person. And yeah, just having peace in your life it means so much. Being content and happy and grateful with what you have.
Like that.
It's like
to be happy means to be content. It's not about the external things which might change, which might go up and down. It's just something more internal where if I was content, I would be happy. And when I think about the Philippines and really try to, look really closely at what is it that makes Filipinos happy when so many people in the West are unhappy, for me, it really comes down to this one issue of contentment. I think for Filipinos, they have realistic expectations of what they could expect in their life. And I think big picture, so many people in countries like the US, the bar is set really high. They want to look a certain way. They want to make a certain amount of money. They want, a partner that's like this. They want a car like this, a house that's like this, on and on. Always the bar is high. And so people in the West generally do pretty well. And so they tend to achieve a lot. So, if their expectations are here, often they're maybe here, which is still pretty high, right? I mean, so the bar for people in the West is always really high. But the problem is that they want this. And so even if they're reaching this, it's close, but it's just never quite what they want. I think that so often people in the West are just dissatisfied. They're discontent.
They're
unhappy now because they didn't reach that standard of whatever they had in their mind. On the other hand, I think that people in the Philippines don't expect a lot. Their expectations might change.
This is a major thing that I learned in the Philippines, not expecting too much from like others, from the government, from the person at the cashier. I'm just like, you know, once you are chill about everything is just so much easier.
Here, where other people in the West are up here. With their expectations here, I think that mostly they achieve that and things are okay. They don't have unrealistic expectations of their life. They don't have all of those demands. They don't expect that everything's going to be perfect and orderly. They don't expect that they're going to make huge sums of money or have, you know, everything that is always working or, you know, whatever the standards might be as a West. So for me, that's just a huge part of it. I think that people in the Philippines don't have unrealistic expectations and they're content with what they have in their life. Now, here's something else about the Philippines that I think...
Okay, I have to disagree at this point because I don't think that people don't have unrealistic expectations, because at the end of the day, if something drives us and we are ambitious and we want to reach a certain goal, of course you do have certain expectations, also maybe sometimes unrealistic ones, and that is what makes the difference in terms of like, okay, what are you going to do with your life? Are you going to become the best singer of the Philippines, the best boxer, go international, make it in Hollywood, whatever you aspire to do it. And I think a lot of Filipinos have those dreams and these expectations of themselves sometimes, but as I said, they are very happy with what they have, so that makes the biggest difference.
Really makes a big difference. In a lot of Western countries, people are pursuing stuff, material things.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, I really think that people are pursuing relationships with family, with friends.
That's what I say, with that communication,
more around
relationships,
what's happening in people's day-to-day life relationally. In the West, people are pursuing stuff. In the Philippines, people are pursuing people. And I think that's also a big part of the difference. If you're always pursuing material things or raising the bar, all these kinds of phrases that we use in the West, there's always going to be more and more expectations. When people reach this, they're not necessarily satisfied. So they're going to go to this level, right? We're always wanting to raise the bar. We're always wanting to go to the next level. All these kinds of phrases that we use in Western countries that I never hear over here in the Philippines. Over here, people just want to make sure that their health is okay, that their family is okay, that they got enough rice every day. Very different types of expectations. People are really focused on spending time with family, loved ones. They're going to take care of each other over here if things are a struggle. And again, I really think for me...
Yeah, the community comes first in the Philippines. It's all about your family, your barkada, looking after each other when something happens, so that the bond is very strong. And I also realized, you know, when I came to the US, people are just talking so much about stuff, about what they have, what they bought, what they want. And it's mostly stuff. I'm like, okay, like, tell me about yourself. Tell me about, I don't know, tell me about your childhood trauma. Let's just talk about something where I can make a connection that is not related to stuff.
Or the big picture reasons why Filipinos are so happy. So, big complex topic, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Definitely there's a lot more that could be said on this than I could cover in a short YouTube video. So I would love to continue discussion with you in the comments below. As always, guys, thanks so much for taking the time to listen. Take care.
Nice. Okay. Well summarized. Yeah, I would say being content, being happy and grateful for what you have. That is what is very, very characteristic for Filipinos. And of course, something that I have to add, resilience. Because Filipinos have been through history, through much, and at some point they just realized if it happens again, we just have to, you know, be resilient. And that's what they're doing. It's just like they don't complain about circumstances because it is what it is, right? So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the California Expat if you enjoyed this video, and definitely check out my channel Nelly's Life. There is a Q&A that I published recently where I also spoke about how the Philippines has defined me during the years where I lived there for like a very long time, and I think my answer will give you an insight of what the Philippines is for me. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time here on What's Up Philippines. Bye bye.